Time to report back. Sunken City, that's where we're going next.
Time to finish this.
If I get a weapon that has why is this plus 5? It's I think plus 6 or better. I think I'll just add one of the specialty essences to it. We're not after all really relying on the weapon, so it's not a high priority. No one is really doing melee. Didn't recover our spells or health. We do need to rest. Same time, we didn't lose any real spirit energy. Might have enough hit points to survive the Berserker Lodge test. Why are you bothering me? We might as well go through the Sunken City first, it should give us a little bit of extra health again. I'm sorry, child. Sorry that I sent you into a whirlwind of hate and deception. I'm sorry that you did not find your answers in the wood. I guided you poorly and treated you as a monster. You have proved me wrong 100-fold. Okay, the fact that we didn't devour the woodman apparently went a long way. But your sister Delenka is dead. Her death is the sin of Nagash, or perhaps a legacy of the hatred that was born long before you journeyed to the wood. Do not look so surprised, child. Spirits gossip like fishwives, and their whispers reach my ears more quickly than any mortal could travel. I know the sacrifice you made to heal the woodman's soul, and I know what the risk might have cost you. I don't. I wanted to prove that I'm no slave to this hunger. Still, the risk to you was real. My gratitude and my trust are yours. Take this gift in friendship. I pray that the spirits will help you find the answer and your salvation. Farewell. Amulet. Amulet of Family. Ooh, natural armor plus 5. Well, it's okay, I suppose, but we can get that through a spell at any time. Still, you can lose spells. I want to continue being a spirit shaman. It's that when we reach these type of levels, the positive gains sort of disappear. At this point, we might be better off just taking a proper combat class. I'm looking at his spells, and I don't see anything particularly interesting. We could probably take extra spell slots here and there, but eh, I don't know. Yeah, wizard or a warlock. I don't intend to ever take something like that. It's not that even that it wouldn't be maybe useful. It's that I don't know how the AI would treat it. It could be a absolute catastrophe all around. Barbarian would be a good match for him instead of a warrior. More hit points. Yeah. Armor proficiency, medium, martial weapons, simple weapons, fast movement, and rage, and additional attack. Dexterity-based barbarian. That's a new one. But the extra feats alone are worth it. Can use a heavier armor. You can use more interesting weaponry.
I'm ready if you need me.
All who can hear, follow.
This was good again. Yeah, it's. Why is every weapon I have a plus what 5 of weapon now? I don't get it.
Yes?
Right,
Yes?
right. Plus 5 weapon. I don't get it. Maybe I haven't been paying attention, but
Hmm?
hmm.
I'm ready if you need me.
Hmm?
It was a weapon against. Yeah, some ability has been overridden. This could be a visual thing, and may not it really. But this has had a feat. Now it's doesn't show up anymore.
I'll take the lead.
I don't know. Elemental ruin. Adamantine plus 3 keen elemental ruin. It's a rapier too, so it's benefits from weapon finesse. The only reason he didn't
Yes.
have this is because he didn't have the weapon proficiency. Yeah,
Yes.
Greetings and well met.
quick look. Anything interesting? Scimitar of Mieliki plus 7 weapon. Skytha Chontia plus 7. It's just very unappealing weapon in general. Basically, it has nothing. How much money do we have? 550,000. It's 5 height armor, that could be useful. A lot of these weapons are sort of, could be useful, but maybe not. What
Hmm?
is your armor? Plus 5 light armor, max dexterity
I'm ready if you
6.
need me.
Spine, max dexterity. Okay. Let's move on. I don't think I want to rest now. We have a high spirit energy and low craving, so we're not gonna lose the energy all that quickly anyway. And we might get an automatic rest cycle if we quick travel to the... what exactly is it? Sunken City. We might have lost a spirit, a feat, or rather a special ability attached to the our little curse or hunger spirit eater ability because we didn't eat the woodman. Still, it doesn't resolve the fundamental problem. New ways of feeding don't stop the problem that I'm basically dying.
Time to finish this.
We do need to rest before entering the Sunken City no matter what. This was once the site of a grand Imaskari city, whose name has been lost to time. Though the ruins are all but swallowed beneath the turbulent waves of Lake Mulsantir, it is rumored that they are home to the slumbering coven, and the seat of power for all the hags of Rashomon. So, hags, what could be more enjoyable than visiting them? Pentame. Welcome to the middle of nowhere, stranger. If you come for the fishing, you will be sorely disappointed. Are you worried about competition? You misunderstand me. I simply meant that if you cast your line into these waters, you will not catch any fish. Pentame. That is no Rashemi name. It is derived from the language of genie kind, and it means false face, does it not? How did you know that? I would never have remembered. Perhaps I should have chosen a cleverer name, but my little jest amused me. You are correct. This is not my true nature. I am, in truth, a Dao. Dao Genie? I thought as much. Why didn't you say something? Are such things important to you? And I felt exposing his disguise too soon would not help our forward progress. Influence loss. No, influence failure. I have no interest in deceiving you. When visiting more primitive worlds such as this, I typically adopt a form that will not alarm the indigenous inhabitants. I'll respect your privacy, so long as your deception is harmless. A harmless deception? Quite the contradiction. We have something in common. We both are outsiders stepping in the backyard of the slumbering coven, but the doors are not open by day. I must go. This is not any place for the ignorant to linger after the night falls. If you remain here, feel free to examine the fishing gear for anything relevant to what you're looking for. Farewell. I trust we will meet again, in some form or another. Fuck is that? Sea monster. Impossible. This writhing appendage that rises from the surface of the water is part of a larger sea monster that dwells in the mysterious fathoms below. Even if you could reach the tentacle to attack it, it would probably not cause any harm to its owner. Though this creature could easily smash the coven's ramshackle wooden docks, for some reason it does not harm it, or the creature on top of it. You suspect it would not hesitate to devour anything that fell off the dock into the dark waters. What coven thing are you talking about? This place was once a major Inoskari city. There may be lots of history here, assuming the hags haven't pillaged and defaced everything. We should look for a way to reach those intact buildings right off the shore. This place reeks of evil and rot. Maybe we should get rid of Kalen and get one of many here. I feel might be just to switch things up for one thing. Two, she might cause more trouble here than she's worth. There is a city here, perhaps beneath the ebb and flow of the waves. Perhaps the fall of night shall grant us a bridge. Though I fear what that will bring us. We will not be the only petitioners of this gate. Are you alright? You sound uneasy. My tone and my intent are seldom the same. Come, city of hags await. Already a second influence failure. We can. You know how to get in? I have only seen this place in dreams, so I am almost as much a stranger to its waters as its ingress as you. But something tells me that nightfall will come with its own clues. Let's go ahead. Why is that important? For two reasons. Beetle Mound. Right. So the path will open up to nighttime. For two reasons. What's the other reason? Come on, forgot it immediately. The first reason is that I want to talk to these guys now, because it seems like I've either missed or screwed up influence opportunities, or dialogue. Through dialogue, we could have gained something that would allow us success instead of failure. Why am I getting 500 experience points? And again, the spirit energy with the zero craving
Time to finish this.
goes down so slowly that we can afford to do this. But we're not gonna go to the sunken city this time. I'm gonna talk to people. I don't know how much conversation options they really have left, but the fact that we're starting to get influence failures on a regular basis just makes me think that we're gonna have a little chat right now. We're also taking one of many with us, so we don't have to chat with Kaylin now, but the other three. One of many might be able to have different ones, as in a different personality having control. So if we could turn him into something other than a rogue, that would be great too. Where is he? Graveyard. At least we'll get an automatic rest when we travel between these sites. Before we rest again, we should probably try to suppress our hunger. I mean, if we are gonna get the rest anyway, we might as well suppress. No reason not to. Near death. Yeah, the problem is with the one of many is that there's no way for us to heal him. Healing is done through negative energy. I might be able to buy some bandages.
Very well. I can find my own way back, and I shall await you there until you have need of me again.
One of many has advanced level. Automatic level advancement. I don't mind that, but what exactly are we getting? That's the problem. Epic precision. The character deals half normal sneak attack damage upon opponents that are normally immune to sneak attack. Oh my god, that's
Yes.
useful.
Time to finish this.
Where am I going?
So this curse is a blessing from a dead god. Of the dead. If nothing will show you the weaknesses of such pompous creatures as those gods you worship, the fact your former god of the dead now lies dead should be proof enough. May the spirits weep for the foolish beliefs of men.
I don't get his attitude, because it's just a different kind of a spirit, if nothing else, a god. So how can you believe in one god? I mean, group of spirits, but then disbelieve the other, even though there's clear evidence the other also exists. I don't want to have this faith conversation with him. At least I don't want to push it. We need to make a choice of how to answer this. You're not one of the faithful, then that's something that's probably going to go down well. Question is, are we going to? We need to figure this out, and throwing more curses about won't help.
Filthy gods and their games. The spirits of Rashomon have no need of gods to guard the dead gates. Yet the humans, the Rashemi, you should have more respect for the spirits. They come at my beck and call, and they are far more powerful than your god of the dead, whichever version of him dances in his graveyard now.
Questions?
If questions you have, then answers I shall provide.
You look uneasy. Are you alright?
Uneasy? Perhaps a bit. For one who barters with spirits such as I, having you around is an uneasy thing, yes. It's like attempting to negotiate with a merchant, while having a merchant-devouring beast standing next to you. It makes things more difficult, or easier, depending on the conversation. Also, in our battle with Oku, something changed. There is a new depth to you, to your dreams, that has been awakened.
What? Why?
I am not certain of the cause of this, but where once your mind was a mirror, now you have an undertow that was not present before. A mirror to a flowing river, as it were. I think your dreams will be stronger, and that is interesting. If questions you have, then answers I shall provide.
Tell me a little about yourself.
A little? There is so much to tell. And to think you'd only want to hear the smallest bit of it. I am insulted.
Alright, tell me a lot about yourself.
What? Do you think I am some sort of long-winded braggart? My, your charm spells seem to be failing one by one.
I'd like to know who I'm traveling with.
Oh, well now, that is a different matter. I am Ganayev, Gan of Dreams, he who walks in the dreams of the people of Rashomon, especially the passionate dreams of farmers' daughters. I make deals with spirits, speak with the mountains and forests, and tell tales of old that bubble up from the brooks and streams of this land.
Where were you born here?
Now there's a tale. Actually, I was born from no mother or father, but from Dream itself. I was conceived as an idea, a stray thought that had to fend for itself in this harsh land. It made me strong, capable, and ruggedly handsome.
You were born from a dream?
Indeed, stepped fresh and whole from the sleeping minds of this great land, able to walk in and out of dreams at my whim and my will.
But you're a hag spawn.
Do I look like a hag spawn? Come now.
Actually, you look like a hag spawn and act like one.
Perhaps you don't realize how rude you're being, casting questions back and forth like a child's toy. Am I supposed to believe for a moment that you actually care about the answer? Or is this a mindless interrogation, a gossip-seeking expedition? You want a straight answer? Yes, my mother was a hag. I knew nothing of my father. And even as I walk with you, I am alone.
I know the same loneliness. I grew up in the Mare of Dead Men. Where were you born?
Very well. I was born in a city that lies beneath water. Where this city is, I do not know. I see it sometimes in my dreams, but its location eludes me. As do the faces of my mother and my father, if they existed at all.
I never knew my mother, and my father, he was more of a guardian than a father.
Ah, an orphan. Intriguing. I shall raise you one better. I am an orphan as well. I do not know the fate of my father, but my mother, I believe her to be the one that cast me out. Ironic to give birth to me, then to feed me to the wilds of Rashomon. Not very motherly, but hags are not known for such kindnesses, I suppose.
How did you survive?
The animals of the world took me in. The dead shepherded the living. It mattered not to them. I learned their speech, their greetings and farewells, the cries of the wild and the whimperings of those lost. To some it is a dirge. To me it is a symphony. And the strains are familiar ones that speak purer than any Rashemi word.
So you were left to wander the land.
There are worse fates. And the more I spoke and bartered with the dead, the more the spirits would come to my aid. My powers grew, and so did the tales of my travels, until every farmer in this dreaming nation held a blade close to their bed, in case I should visit their daughters in the night. Of course. Ask what you will, and I will do my best to answer.
Can you tell me a little about your parents?
Oh, I can indeed tell you but a little. For little is all I knew of them. A human for a father, yes. A hag for a mother, yes. But who they were, that is not known to me.
Well, it's blatantly obvious Ganayev has to be with us in the Sunken City. I'm sorry.
Do you think I care? I do not. It is like water running through the streets of an empty city, uncaring, unheard, and unwelcome. Of course. Ask what you will, and I will do my best to answer.
What do you think of Sophia?
I do not know if Sophia speaks to herself, or if another Sophia, a small spirit, speaks to her. But it is a question only she can resolve. Perhaps it is her conscience that whispers to her. But red wizards are said to have that stripped from them at a young age. She is a thing of puzzle pieces, to be certain, and so finely decorated with tracings and tattoos, the best part of the red wizard's contribution to culture. Of course. Ask what you will, and I...
Kaelin.
I will do my... There are those who have lazy dreams. Dreams that come to them only when their eyes are closed and the hearth fire enfolds them. And there are those whose dreams are an icy wind, a whip crack across their souls that visit them in the waking hours. These dreams drive their actions, drive them ever onwards until their dream is a reality.
You sound almost afraid of her.
It is good to fear those who are driven in such a way. With them the dream wind travels, and the whiplash extends its reach to all who believe in such a one. Our songbird. I think she will need the power of her voice in the days to come, and perhaps sooner than we all think. Of course. Ask what you will, and I will do my best to answer.
So, gained influence, lost influence. Yeah, 29 supportive, that's fairly weak.
Yes?
Sophia, 71, loyal. And what about you, Mr. Monster? 0, neutral.
I'm ready if you need me.
I sort of have a feeling, yeah, one of many probably would be trying to get us to use the spirit eating powers more and more and more.
I was hoping there would be a more expedient solution to your curse. A disease that could be cured, or some curse-throwing witch I could disintegrate. But if the Woodman is correct, a dead god is to blame for all of your troubles.
I'm not worried yet. There must be a way to end the curse.
From all I've read and all I've heard of the legends of the Spirit Eater, the condition is rather fatal.
I'm not just going to wait for the curse to kill me.
My best students talk as you do. I tell them something's impossible and they reply with resistance. That defiance will be a strong defense against the curse. What would you like to know?
I'd like to know more about you.
What would you like to know?
Where are you from?
I've spent my life at the Academy of Shapers and Binders, studying magic for as long as I can remember. The Academy is far south of here. This is actually my first time beyond the lands of Thay. Between my students and my own magical research, I have little time for travel.
Are you and your mother close?
My mother was the headmistress of the Academy of Shapers and Binders. She was a rather inconsistent parent, sometimes very protective and forgiving, other times strict and callous. I often felt like a valued possession, not a daughter.
With all the troubles at your academy, why are you here with me?
I made a promise to... Never mind. The promises are just a convenient excuse. I want to see you through to the end of this mystery. There are very few people in this world who I trust, and one of them mildly defies the definition of person. For whatever reason, I trust you. Whatever happened at the Academy is probably over and beyond my control. But you, I can still help.
I want to know more about the voices you're hearing.
For as long as I can remember, I've heard whispers, words, shouts, and mutterings. Sometimes at a deafening pitch, sometimes so quiet I barely notice. But it's clear that I'm the only person hearing them. For a very, very long time, I thought the voices were a sign that my mind was peculiar at best and fatally unhinged at worst. And before you ask, no, the voices have never taken control of me or forced me into action.
Thank you for telling me about the voices.
Oh, well, usually people associate voices in one's head with raving lunacy. In other words, you're welcome.
What do you think is the cause of the voices?
I've tried every divining cantrip, every scrying spell in the Academy library, and they've told me nothing. The voices seem to be coming from both within and without.
What do the voices usually say?
Most often, gibberish. Fragments of words. Sentences so quiet they might as well be a mumble. Still, there is an occasional bit of guidance, dissuading me from foolish mistakes, or warning me when an unscrupulous classmate is trying to deceive me. What would you like to know?
What do you know about the Spirit Eater?
Only rumors and legends, really. What in particular did you want to know?
What exactly is a Spirit Eater?
Apart from a rather self-descriptive title, the legends always describe the Spirit Eater as a corrupted mortal, not a fiend or undead creature. In some anecdotes, the Spirit Eater feeds on nature spirits, disrupting the delicate balance of the land. In other tellings of the legend, the Spirit Eater can supposedly feed on the souls of living people. I suppose you would know better than I.
How many Spirit Eaters are there?
There have been many different people branded Spirit Eater in the legends. What is not clear is whether they were active at the same time, or if it's been a singular terror with multiple faces.
What usually happens to the Spirit Eaters?
They're devoured from within, driven insane in some of the tales. In other words, in all the legends they die. Of course, folklore always aggrandizes the dramatic. I'm sure the Rishemi witches only tell stories with horrific endings.
What did you learn about the Spirit Eater?
The Rishemi have few written records of their own, but the Red Wizards have collected some of the stories and committed them to text. All my knowledge on the subject is derived from these writings. Needless to say, my understanding of the subject is little more than hearsay and speculation. What would you like to know?
Questions about companions.
Yes?
What do you think of Gan?
Those who speak overmuch of the value of dreams usually want to sell you something. That being said, I suggest you put at least some trust in him, if only because he responds well to blunt honesty. I grew up around unscrupulous Red Wizards. I know that a true liar wants to be lied to in return.
What about Kalen?
That servant of... I've never trusted people of faith. They live their lives divorced from reason. Kalen is no exception. You can hear in her voice a terminal innocence. If you told her that faith would feed her, she'd happily starve to death and die in prayer. But you should disregard my prejudice toward the faithful. I trust her, and so should you. She is, in her very blood, a creature of devotion and integrity.
What do you think of one of many?
That's the name of the presence that follows you? I keep sensing a collection of voices around you. Whatever this one of many says to you, if indeed it speaks in words, think very carefully why it says what it says.
What happened to the child and brood spirits I saw at the furnace? I'm the child you refer to. The brood is among the many. Can I speak to the brood? Influence failure, no. I'm one of many. I will not relinquish control to another. No. It's gonna be a pretty straightforward backstabbing snow bitch unless we gain influence somehow. Why do you call me master? It is the title I have chosen for my creator, and the one who commands me and the many. Do you prefer to be called by another title? Just keep calling me master. Let's try other options though. Spirit Eater, Dark One, Chosen One, Almighty Savior, Harborman, Lady, Madam, Mistress, Wizard, Eldritch Knight, Red Wizard, Mistress. I don't think one of many is a good choice to have in our group. For one thing, that's evil son of a bitch. 2, he gains influence only through interactions, and because he's evil, I can see where he's going. He's going to go for the pretty much unrestricted use of the Spirit Eater. I don't trust one of many at all. I think I'll
I'm
dump
ready if you
for
need me.
Kalen.
Yes.
The more I think about it, the more it just makes sense. I mean, how could I possibly trust that? It's a collection of murderers and evil spirits. I think it's my bigger worry is sort of that I can never really gain influence with him. So naturally, someone who's leaning toward evil already, it's another bishop in
You
the
have
making.
returned. Do you wish to travel together? You will need to... Very well, I am...
Let's chat.
This curse smells of a god's touch. I should have realized it. And a dead god, of which there are few.
There's also the benefit that we don't have to have healing kits to heal every member. Do you have any thoughts as to which it might be?
No, I could not venture to say. Many of the gods are petty, both the living gods and the dead. Their punishments have been known to outlive them. And perhaps you suffer from such a punishment somehow gone awry. If that is the case, this curse was not originally meant for you, but for another. Of course.
So, you're from the upper planes.
I come from the slopes of Celestia. My heritage is evidenced in my wings and my eyes.
Your eyes are unusual.
I noticed that. Your eyes are like mirrors, which makes them doubly pleasing to me. It allows me to admire my reflection without need for a looking glass.
I see.
I hope you can, with eyes like that. I'm a lot to take in at once, so feel free to study me at length if you must. I am used to such attention.
You might need to step back to look at Gan. His ego alone can fill a castle.
Such fire to your words, they burn me. Quick, get the priestess to fan me with her wings.
Are you making light of me?
I would never do such a thing. Although with eyes like yours, do you know what light is?
You are strange. There is much about your heritage that evidences in your behavior.
About Gan?
I am curious what this ebony-eyed creature of the slopes of Celestia sees in a humble hagspawn such as I. Pray, priestess, continue.
Very well. I see that your feet find the patterns of dirt and sand beneath them uncomfortable, as if you are used to stepping in dreams, not earth. You toss about words like a wind around you, in the hopes that their speed and flurry will deflect questions and prevent you from being seen for what you are. You are hurt, Ganiev of dreams, and that pain drives you to hurt others, for you have been taught that that is the wheel that turns the world.
You saw that from looking at him?
Ah, I think your faith has led you astray, and your eyes may not see as deeply as I may have thought. A shame, but no doubt my colors would blind you.
Spectra of color are something I know only from text, not from experience. My eyes do not perceive color as you do. There is only black, white, and little else. It is another mark of my heritage, and I do not find it a hindrance.
So, you are blind to colors.
My grandfather once said it was something my belief had chosen, not my blood. I would not call it blindness, but I see the world differently, yes. My eyes can perceive the spectrum of planes at times, even if the array of colors is lost on them.
I have walked in the shadow plane before, yes.
Your journey marked you, and I sense an absence within you as if your heart was removed. Its pain has faded to be replaced with something new, an affliction seeping into the open wound. Whatever affliction I sense within you that has filled the wound, it feels larger than the wound itself, as if the wound is merely a door. I do not know if Ilmater's blessings will aid you, but the fact you bear such pain is a testament to your strength of will. Of course.
You are a follower of the god Ilmater, correct?
That is correct. I am a sister of the Ilmatari, follower of Ilmater, the suffering god. We bring comfort to those in pain, and take the painful burdens of others unto ourselves.
What brought you to that faith?
Many faiths seek to help those who suffer, but it is my feeling that only Ilmater approaches it justly. In Ilmater's teachings I find there is truth. Through his priests and his blessings we seek to help all who hurt. There is a freedom in such all-encompassing sacrifice, I find.
You speak as one who has been treated unjustly, and without freedom as well.
It is difficult to express, and I am not certain I have the words. Suffice to say that I found the call of Ilmater's teaching stronger. Of course.
Tell me a little about yourself.
My history is in the past, where I am sorry, but my past efforts have shamed me, and they are difficult to speak of.
Oh, shit. Forgive me, I meant no disrespect to your privacy.
No, it is I who must ask your forgiveness. Perhaps as we travel more together, I shall find the words and the will to speak them. Of course.
Can you tell me about Ephraim and Susa?
They are brother and sister, 2 of 4 of my siblings. We traveled together for some time, and Josu and Becca as well. We fought 5 as one, united in mind and spirit, and bore the name the Menagerie. Lions and stag, crow and dove. It seems they left the house of the Triad in search of me. I hope they will not be punished.
Punished?
Yes. The Menagerie was forbidden to take up weapons again, at my grandfather's command. His throne is high on the slopes of Celestia, and his word carries much weight.
Why were you punished?
Our philosophy veered from the traditional teachings of the divas and angels, and so our paths were forced to part.
Influence failure. That doesn't sound like the whole story.
It is not, but it is a complicated issue, and I fear that sharing it will do more harm than good. Of course.
When we met, you mentioned the House of the Triad. What is that?
The House of the Triad is not a temple, nor is it a place upon the prime material plane. It is the name bestowed to the 3 great mountains circling Mount Celestia on the outer plains. The realms of Torm, Tyr, and Ilmater lie upon the crest of each mountain, and the triumvirate forms the House of the Triad. It is a place of great beauty, where the orchestrations of divas are carried on the wind and sun. But it is sealed to me, and never again shall I know its comfort.
But as a priest of Ilmater, can't you go to his realm?
The House of the Triad is closed to me, as is all of Celestia, even Ilmater's realm, with its temple that embraces the sky. No creature there can feel pain, fatigue, or even exhaustion. One is renewed within its walls. There are times I miss it, I confess.
I don't want to lie or bluff. That must be suffering in itself.
To comfort the suffering is at the heart of Ilmater's beliefs, and it extends to his disciples as well. I thank you for your sympathy. To show compassion for others brings one closer to my God and those we seek to heal. Gladly. If I have the answer, it is yours.
Okay, at least something positive is coming out of this. Our influence with Kalen was frankly terrible. It's not exactly great now either, but at least there's some positives to it now. What can you tell me about Shadow Mulsantir?
It is a shadow of the city you have left behind, but as you may have perceived when you arrived, it is not an exact imitation. There are distortions of architecture, and sometimes a different flow of streets or paths. It is enough to recognize what Shadow Mulsantir is supposed to represent, but not what it is. I hope that served to dispel your confusion rather than compound it. To describe Shadow is an elusive thing. Gladly. If I have the answer, it is yours. Very well. Who did you wish to speak of?
The undead construct, or constructs actually, one of many.
I have felt its presence, cloying like an oily shadow over us. No doubt it is listening even now, but it hides itself well. You have constructed a beast from the ashes of the condemned. You have done a criminal act to give voice to those whose hands are thick with the blood of the innocent and helpless.
Admittedly, I'm having regrets.
It is not too late. There must be some way to undo the act, to reduce it back into the ash from whence it came. If the time comes to make a stand, make sure I am with you. My powers are strong against the dead.
Any other advice should things turn bad?
He is one of the undead, so make sure your powers are focused on their weaknesses, and if you can, try to convince the creature to coalesce into whichever form you think is the weakest, then attack. Yes, how may I help?
You seem to be in a good mood.
I am. I find your sense of purpose in this journey grants me strength, and it lightens my spirit.
A sense of purpose?
Whatever drives you has driven me as well. I feel there is much I can learn from you, and I think the planes our paths crossed.
I appreciate the kind words.
I only speak the truth. But you spoke to me for a reason. Is there some way I may help? Gladly. If I have the answer, it is yours. Very well. Who did you wish to speak of?
What do you think of Sophia?
She hears a calling, but the voice that pulls at her is quieter than others, I think. She also bears the marks of the Red Wizards of Thay, but she shows mercy and tact, traits I thought were unknown among their sect. I would watch her, but more importantly, I would listen to her. There is something else speaking with her voice, whether she knows it or not. Very well. Who did you wish to speak of?
I'd be interested in your thoughts on Gan.
Gan suffers, perhaps more than most. I am unclear as to why, but I suspect it has to do with his place in Rashomon and the lack thereof. I am concerned that his suffering may bring evil upon us. His suffering feeds his impulsiveness and undermines responsibility and loyalty to others.
I'll keep an eye on him.
Do not judge him on my words. That was not my intent. I will not say that Gan will not help us, only that his help is likely to be swifter when it benefits him as well. Do not underestimate your own abilities to sway him either. He watches your actions more carefully than he admits, and with your presence as an example, I think there is great potential for healing him. Gladly. If I have the answer, it is yours.
Wonder if we could ask about other things that she refused to talk.
I come from the slopes of Celestia.
I noticed your wings. Are you able to
My
fly?
heritage is... No, I cannot. The wings simply serve as a cloak, and at times a shield from the sun or elements. They are another mark of Celestia, one that I welcome. Gladly.
Tell me a little about yourself.
If I sought to lead a crusade against the city of the dead, to correct the injustice I saw there. If the universe would not remove the wall of the faithless, then I would. I was not the first to feel this way. Have I told you of the first crusade? The war of Akachi against the wall of the faithless? He was a faithful adherent of Merkel, Lord of the Dead those many centuries ago, before the rise of Kelemvor.
He was a follower of Merkel.
Yes, one of Merkel's chosen ones, in fact. He dispensed justice in Merkel's name and hunted the enemies of his god across the plains. But when one he loved fell victim to Merkel's laws, he appealed to his god and was rebuked.
So Akachi didn't take no as an answer.
He did not, even in the face of his god. The one who loved Akachi, she did not worship the gods, any god, let alone the god of her beloved, Merkel. There is a punishment for ones who carry such beliefs. No matter how virtuous their lives, those who do not believe in the gods will suffer upon the wall of the faithless until their souls are no more.
That seems unjust.
Yes it is. Once they are on the wall, they die again. And it is not a quick death. It is a slow slide. It is agony until their souls are dissolved into the wall. They decay until they are destroyed completely, utterly.
No one deserves such a fate for simply not worshipping the gods.
Akachi's sense of justice would not permit him to accept even the words of his own god if he felt they were unjust, nor would he accept the wall that encircled Merkel's city. So he gathered allies, great lieutenants of dragonkind, divas, and even the undead to his side. He attacked Merkel and was crushed.
So the wall remains.
But the tale lives on. It lives on in me, in others, who saw what Akachi tried to do. And in his tale we take strength, and we continue his war. For the wall of the faithless is not just. It must be cast down.
I agree. It sounds like a cruel punishment. I sort of agree. I mean, really agree. But I'm mainly choosing these options because I'm hoping she'll agree with me.
I am pleased to hear you say that. Sometimes I fear that I am alone in my beliefs, and I question them. Merkel's construct has passed to Kelemvor, the new god of the dead. He is set in his ways, and is as deaf to appeals as Merkel was. There must be justice in this life and in death. I am bound to both, but I am not bound to accept their...
Wait. I got the impression initially that the wall is part of the order of the universe. But this implies that the wall didn't exist before Merkel became the god of death, so why does it continue to exist? It's clearly not necessary. It's just punishing the souls of the non-believers after the fact. Not like they can do anything about it anymore, and it's such a remote thing that even people alive don't really accept this as reality. I mean, if they don't believe in God, it's not gonna change their mind. It's just
laws.
it's not going to be make a difference. It's just punishing people for the sake of punishing them. It's more of a symbol than anything else. It doesn't, I mean, whether it exists or not isn't going to make any kind of a real difference anywhere.
Gladly, if I have
Well, it's going to make a difference, but it's not going to end the universe
the
if
answer,
it goes away.
it is yours.
I wanted to ask you about your family.
What of them?
Brothers and sisters.
I have 4 siblings, and we were seldom apart. We called ourselves the Menagerie, and we took on the mantles of animals that reflected our spirits the best.
Where? Seldom apart?
Yes, recent events have separated us, and our paths have divided.
What were your siblings' names again?
Ephraim the Stag and Susa the Crow traveled with me, and Josu and Becca, twins, paladins, with courage and manes from which the lions were born.
Why did you take the name of the dove?
I was the spiritual leader of the menagerie. I took the dove as a symbol of peace.
That seems at odds with your crusade.
It was never my intention to attack the City of Judgment. My intention was to bring down the Wall of the Faithless. To bring down the wall by violence was not my intent. I had hoped, if Kelemvor saw the strength and conviction of the crusade assembled, it would cause him to reconsider.
You wished to talk, but were willing to fight if needed.
It was too important a cause not to be willing to fight for it. It still is. Gladly. If I have the answer, it is yours.
Triad.
The House of the Realms of but it is sealed to me. And now, gladly, if I have the answer, it is what of them?
I was interested in hearing about your grandfather.
He dwells in the House of the Triad on the slopes of Celestia as I did. He is one of the Solars, the strongest of divas. He's a champion of order and of structure. He was the one who led the shaping of Limbo's outer reaches 2 centuries ago to forge stability from that chaotic plane. And he ended the reign of the tyrant Ankriva and the desiccated kings of the Shrumar, who were allied with Merkel long ago.
I heard Ankriva still lives in undead.
You know your history well. That knowledge is rare, even amongst priests of Kelemvor. He ended the chaos of their empire, not destroyed them utterly. Had he done so, he would have brought more ruin to their lands, and Grandfather believes strongly that chaos breeds more evil. He rarely intervened on the Prime, but in that instance, Ankriva was affecting the cycles of life and death on the plains, and it had to be ended.
Was he part of the menagerie as well? Well, of course not, but
No, the menagerie was perhaps more concerned with the Prime than Grandfather was. The Outer Plains were his home, where he felt he could make the most difference. The Prime was not something he concerned himself with, and even on the Prime, he would not allow his feet to touch ground. What of them?
well, we went from pretty much shit influence to loyal, which would also give us something. +2 wisdom and fortitude save for her at least. Which would mean extra spell slots maybe. Not quite.
Yes?
Sophia had even better. Yeah, devoted. +6 concentration, +2 intelligence, bonus feat improved empower spell, +2 saving throws versus spells. Wait. Who's getting all
Yes.
these? Okay, whatever.
Yes.
Gun is real problem. His influence is, well, it's not strong, let's
I'm
put it
ready if
that
you need
way.
me.
Still, we need to get going. But productive discussion section. Sophia and Kaylin seem to be the ones that we can fairly basically trust without holding anything back, really. Gun is another matter because I suppose it has taken me quite a long time to get a proper feel for what he's all about. I still don't quite get him. Getting better than I did before, but unless something drastic happens, I don't think he'll ever fully trust us. I'm looking for useful items. It's the heal potion situation generally.
Yes?
Yes.
There has to be a better way to handle these.
Hmm?
4
Yes.
heals, 5 heals, 7 heals.
I'm ready if you need me.
I have tens of healing potions. I don't think we're gonna do anything here. Just gonna go somewhere and suppress the hunger. I only have lost 11 energy, spirit energy, by even though we've played quite a bit and traveled back and forth. With 0 craving, spirit energy barely moves. Even with well, if you're going to go and eat everything, you're gonna get max craving. But at the same time, it's very unlikely you'll ever die from it. But it would teach you management skills, I suppose.
Yes.
I'm ready if you need me.
Couple of extra points, no extra craving. 96 spirit energy. But if you eat everything, I think you also get better feeding abilities. So yeah, you need more spirit energy, but you don't really have allies or their ass to suck up to. So you can eat more things. Can eat. I think you can also eat groups of creatures instead of individuals. Something like that might have been what you get if you devour the wood, man. I can't say. But that sort of approach, one of many, might be a perfect companion in such a situation. I don't trust him at all. I don't trust him at all.
Utus Christu Clarmachon.
Don't exactly expect to do a lot here. But this isn't a large map. I'd like to at least secure this edge. So go, you can use the shadow portal. And in the shadow world, there's going to be what we
Dear John Queedy there.
beached corpse. Large water elemental. Oh, what's the best way to fight these? Come on, they're just large water elementals. We fought against with elder elementals, so it should not be a problem. I don't want to feed here. We don't really need the energy, and we might have better opportunities against better targets. Fisherman's Journal. This is a journal of a fisherman that has been left exposed to the elements. Most of the pages are either stuck together or the ink has smudged so badly that the fisherman's barely legible scribblings are completely unreadable. The last few pages of the journal remain mostly intact. Yep, this is the place that drunk Hackspawn told me about. Found 2 bodies to salvage, just walking along the shore, and I'm about to fish another one out of the water. Don't know which boat these sailors drowned off of, and I don't care. They went to their watery graves with their pockets full of gold. A strange fella came out of nowhere today, some bloke named Fentany, took an interest in my fishing and warned me not to stay here when it gets dark. Crazy talk. But I chased him off with a few choice insults. I was here first, so I get first right to salvage. Waited here since morning and nothing. But then in the late afternoon a pair of rich bodies popped up. Maybe the light toward dusk plays tricks on sailors, and they crash into the ruins offshore. I never see the shipwrecks, but sometimes if I listen closely, I can hear some ungodly screams. Poor fools crying out for mercy from Umberley when she's got none. New bodies washed ashore late this afternoon. They was loaded with valuables too. Some of them don't look much like sailors. They're dead and loaded with all the same, so they could be floating up from hells for all I care. Another week of this and I can retire in a nice place far away. Maybe the Sword Coast. I hear Neverwinter's a nice place. Hiding behind a bush as I write this. Umberley have mercy. I should have listened to that man Fentany and not stayed here past dusk. I just got carried away and didn't notice the time. Then some black swirling eye just appeared on the shore, and evil creatures from the hells came and started walking into it and getting sucked inside. God, if I survive this night, I'll pack up my fishing gear and never return. Oh shit. Beach corpse. Telltale panthers. Fuck is that? Telltale rat. Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ. How much hit points does the rat have? More rats. Solid leather armor +4. Is that it? Beetle mound. And a surprise move. There's beetles here. Wasn't much of a challenge. And it's dawn, so portal is gone. Still, not a catastrophe for us. But if we have to rest, we might as well suppress again. Because we could wait until dusk. No, I want to rest simply because I want to recover these abilities. Now we can wait. Yep. Now there's a clear pier going in there. Ooh, coven. Count Crow Roost Servant. Each corpse sent to me. Right. Ah. Hmm. I want to see if there's anything interesting, and there really isn't. Reduce person greater. Yes. Let's do it all in order. What are we? Level 26. Okay. I think we'll get one extra attribute point at level 28, and that's it. Not that it'll make much of a difference, or any difference. I think our stats are what they are, and we have a fantastical amount of spells for a wizard. One good thing about playing a wizard is that you get a good feel of the spells you're gonna need through a long playthrough. So after you played through a wizard once, you could very well play a sorcerer. There's only a very limited set of spells at per level that we use in like 95% of cases, and in the rest of the 5% you could probably deal with through alternative means. I mean, we don't have any illusion or conjuration spells and we're still doing fine.